Hello, good afternoon. Welcome to the Legend Real Estate Trust webinar. My name is Amanda Bauk. I'm one of the co-founders of Legend. In today's webinar, we're going to go through an overview of what Legend has to offer, and you can determine for yourself if this is something interesting that you maybe want to connect with me one-on-one, and we can talk about it in a little bit more detail. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen and my presentation. Okay. So once again, hello and welcome. So Legend Real Estate Trust is a REIT, and we are focused on acquiring multifamily properties all across Canada. In today's webinar, we're going to talk about some really good reasons why you should invest into real estate, today's commitment as well, a Legend Real Estate Trust overview. We'll focus in on our flagship property, 144 Lucan Avenue in Waterloo, Ontario. I will talk about how Legend mitigates risk, how you can leverage your RSPs to invest, and of course, next steps. So how we got started into real estate. Up here on the screen is a picture of my very first house that I bought with Marty, who is my business partner and my husband. So this was purchased back in 2006. I was 21, Marty was 24, and we bought our first investment property. So this meant that we became homeowners and landlords within our first transaction. This was in Guelph, Ontario. We bought this property for $173,000, and we renovated and created a basement apartment where we lived for a couple of years. Now, we got wise to the fact that we could rent the rooms or rent the upstairs by the room for $450 per room and create more revenue by renting by the room. So within our first property, we were living for free, actually, and we had some positive cash flow at the end of the month. Now, what we eventually did was we refinanced the property, we extracted some equity, and we went ahead and purchased more rental properties. Now, we continued with this format for many, many years and continued to buy single family home, create the basement apartment, refinance, extract the equity, and carry on. This was incredibly lucrative for us, and we were turning a great ROI for many years before we transitioned into multifamily properties. Now, over all these years, we've also almost always worked with financial partners as well. So we have a great deal of experience working with passive investors. Fast forward until today. We've launched Legend Real Estate Trust, and our first property that we're set to close in Legend is a 60-unit apartment building in Waterloo, Ontario, which we'll take a deep dive later in the presentation. Now, I want to share with you a bit about us and a bit about my why, the reason why I invest into real estate. Now, I think the obvious is to, make some money, but the reason why that's important is so that we can spend time doing things that we really love. And for Marty and I, we love to take our little guy fishing. So we have a little son, Montgomery, who's 3.5 now. You can see the picture on the bottom there. Marty and Monty fishing together. We love to go hiking, patio hopping, enjoy some concerts and some outdoor festivals, and just really spend a lot of time with our family and friends. Now, when the going gets tough and, we're putting a lot of work into real estate, we often come back to our why and remind ourselves that this is why we're putting in the work. This is the reasons why we invest into real estate. And, part of the reasons why we started Legend is so that we can offer a better lifestyle for more investors such as yourselves. So, being able to invest into Legend from a completely passive perspective, this could be getting you closer to your why so that you're spending more time with your friends, your family. Maybe you like to travel. Maybe you've got kids that you want to put through secondary education. It's very personal to decide what are the reasons why you want to invest. So I would love to hear, what is your why and the reasons why that you would invest into real estate. Now, today's commitment here is I'm going to ask you guys in this world of, multiple investing avenues and so many choices here, some people can really get stuck in this analysis paralysis. So today's commitment, I'm asking you to make a decision. Is it a yes or is it a no? No maybes allowed here. And the reason I say that is because I've been a real estate coach for more than 10 years as well as being an investor for nearly 20 years. And sometimes investors just get stuck in indecision because there's too many choices out there. So if I'm able to present to you an opportunity that gets you closer to your why, and fits in line with your investing goals, then I ask you to make this commitment to yourself to say, yes, I'm interested to book a one-on-one call with Amanda and move forward and learn more about Legend. So let's get right into it. So a summary overview of our investment at Legend is that we have Class A unit shares available at $10 per unit. Our targeted returns are 15 to 20% annually, and our preferred returns are 8% annual. So that 8% is included in the 15 to 20%. And the 8% is your cash flow payment that is calculated annually but paid out quarterly. We do have a DRIP program available as well. So that's the dividend reinvestment program. If you don't wish to receive your cash flow, you can reinvest it into the fund. And the way this works is that you would actually be buying additional units at the market price plus a 2% discount to incentivize investors to participate in the DRIP program. Now at Legend, we've got a $10,000 minimum commitment, and you can use your RRSP, RESP, TFSA, LIRA, and of course, cash to invest. So you can use any registered Canadian account to invest into Legend. And what is extra beneficial here is that you keep all of your tax shelter benefits. So if you have an existing RSP that is performing at less than 15 to 20%, then I ask you to consider, could Legend be a better fit for you? Would you want to maybe self-direct your existing RSP into Legend and keep all of your tax shelter benefits where we are targeting those 15 to 20% annual returns? In terms of investor suitability, we work with eligible and accredited investors. Now, Legends Edge, a couple things that really sets this investment apart in the industry is that you can invest completely passively, hands-free, with total peace of mind. So from market selection, property selection, running pro formas, negotiations, the acquisition process of buying real estate, getting the right team in place, property management, investment management, all of the above, all of these items, we have you covered, okay? At Legend, let us do the heavy lifting, and you get to benefit from the investment itself and investing into real estate from a completely passive position. Another piece is that there's no large down payments that are required. Typically, when you buy real estate, you have to do a large down payment. Investing into this type of fund with $10,000, you can go ahead and get started. And there's no mortgage qualification and there's no credit checks either. So again, this is available for eligible and accredited investors. As I mentioned in the earlier slide, you can supercharge your RSPs. So once again, if you haven't heard of this before, this is very common for investors to do, that you can self-direct your RSPs, any Canadian registered account, you can self-direct it into Legend while keeping all of your tax shelter benefits. So investing into a REIT or investing into Legend, you get to own a small piece of a growing portfolio. So this helps to mitigate risk and offers diversification. So Legend investors get to participate at the fund level, and you're not actually investing into one property. So this means as Legend grows and adds more properties into the trust and into the fund, your investment will grow with us and you get to benefit from all of these future acquisitions. We also offer flexible cash flow options. So, as I mentioned, you can select the DRIP program, that dividend reinvestment program, that if you don't want to receive your cash flow, you can reinvest it into the fund. Or if you would like to receive your cash flow, then you can take your quarterly payments if you wish. You can also divide the DRIP or the cash flow 50-50. So you also have the opportunity to change your mind down the road. So when Marty and I built this fund, we really built it with investors in mind, and we understand that life circumstances change, that you might be approaching retirement, or you might have a child who is about to go away to university, etc. Employment might change. So we wanted to make sure that we have flexible cash flow options available for our investors. So let's go through a practical example to understand investor profits. So if you were to invest into Legend with a $10,000 investment, that's again the minimum commitment, that means that you're actually purchasing 1,000 units at $10 per unit. The second column outlines the cash flow component. So you profit in two ways with Legend. First of which is cash flow. So we're targeting that 8% preferred return for the cash flow. So again, on a $10,000 investment, this would produce returns of $800 in a year. And since we pay out quarterly, this means that you would receive $200 4 times in the year. The third column is the equity growth. We're targeting a 7 to 12% equity growth within the fund. Now, the equity grows within the fund through, monthly mortgage pay down. Each time we pay the mortgage down on the properties, our equity is growing. As we increase the rents or increase the income at the properties, their equity is also growing. And then, of course, there's market appreciation as well. So let's assume that we're able to achieve the 12% growth rate. That means the units that you initially purchased for $10 per unit are now worth $11.20 per unit within that first year. So consequently, your investor portfolio that started at $10,000 based on that 1,000 units that were purchased grows to $11,200 within the first year. In column 4, we're going to add these profits together and combine your cash flow with your equity growth. So we're going to take that 800 we made in cash flow and add it to your 1,200 in equity growth. This gives you a total of $2,000 in profits in year 1. Looking at the long-term perspective, if we fast forward to a 5-year period, this means you've made $2,000 per year for 5 years, is $10,000 in profits. And you have effectively doubled your money within a 5-year period. So, I'm just going to pause here on this screen just so that you can see it and really absorb and understand the investor profit. So once again, we're targeting a total of the 15 to 20% annual returns. Now let's take a closer look here at our flagship property, 144 Lucan Avenue in Waterloo, Ontario. So we purchased this property. We have it firm under contract. We purchased it for $21,500,000 and with a targeted closing date of February 2025. Now, this is an absolutely beautiful, turnkey, fully renovated 60-unit apartment building. And a strategic advantage is that 50% of the building is exempt from the Ontario rent increase guidelines, and we purchased at a 5.3% cap rate. Now, this particular property is a step above type of apartment building here. Each of the units have a dishwasher, they've got a balcony, the building has facial recognition security system to even get into the property. There's an elevator in the facility. We have a gym that's on site and a ton of storage that's available for the tenants as well. And we also offer a lot of parking at this property. So when we're looking at a tenant profile, that we're not getting the bottom of the barrel rental rates here, that we do have a step above at this particular property. And pulling out here to look at a map, 144 Lucan Avenue in Waterloo, Ontario, is a really up and coming, gentrifying area. This is an incredible location. We're 4 minutes to the Grand River Hospital, 6 minutes to Wilfrid Laurier University, 9 minutes to the University of Waterloo, 5 minutes to Kitchener Union Station, 7 minutes to the University Avenue Station, and 4 minutes to Google Waterloo. Now, the reason why this is so important, and the location of any real estate that you decide to invest into is so important, is due to the value of the building, but also your tenant profile, the demographic that you can cater to from a customer service position. So we can, look at multiple different job sectors here. That we've got education workers, we've got students themselves who might be interested to rent at our building, and we've got healthcare workers who might want to rent at our building, and tech workers. So if you're familiar with the Waterloo market, you know that this is a tech hub, and being 4 minutes to Google Waterloo is just an incredible location. Peeking here at the map, we're kind of sandwiched in between Herb Street, King Street, Union Street. Weber Street is where we are located in Waterloo, Ontario. Just an outstanding location. Now, how we mitigate risk at Legend. So a couple, just summary points here that Marty and I thought were really important to share with all of you. Our business model is very much focused on buying turnkey, existing, newer cash flowing properties is what we want to focus on. A good old buy and hold, okay? We're not reinventing the wheel here. We're sticking to the basics of boring real estate is what we want to focus on. You want excitement? Go do other exciting things. Your investing should not seem exciting. It should seem boring. So within our business model, we have no cash for keys. So this means we don't put such an important piece of our business to be, based on our success, to be in the hands of tenants. We do not need to do cash for keys. We're starting at market rents is where we're focused. Our tenant profile is to focus on providing quality housing for working class tenants is really where we're focused with Legend. There are no large scale renovations that are planned at Legend either, because once again, we're focused on those newer turnkey buildings. So this helps to ensure that our vacancy rates are low. If the buildings are built 2018 or newer in Ontario, that means that there's no rent control guidelines. We have to stay within market rents, of course, but we're not stuck with the rent control. And also investing into newer buildings or renovated buildings mean lower maintenance and repair costs as well. One of our commitments to our Legend investors is to focus on one project at a time. So, our plans for growth, we're looking to do one, maybe two acquisitions per year, but we're not trying to be like, a super crazy big company. We're not trying to achieve, $1 billion within our first year or anything wild like that. We're looking to have stable and appropriate growth within Legend. And that's our commitment to our investors, is one project at a time. We also don't have any development slated within Legend at this time. So developments can often have, different delays. And it's something that we're just not focused on. Once again, Legend is focused on buying existing apartment buildings, and we're building our business mainly with equity investors as well for that stability. And Marty and I have nearly 20 years experience. Now, why the experience really matters here is that Marty and I have been, life partners and business partners for more than 20 years. We've been together and planning all of this. But since we started investing into real estate, we have seen multiple different types of market cycles. We've been in buyers markets, we've been in sellers markets, we've seen different CMHC rule changes, we've seen different lending changes as well in the mortgage world. We've seen changes within the landlord tenant board regulations. We've worked with so many investment partners as well that we've done renewals and investments have matured and we've sold properties and we've divided assets. And what we found is that we have a lot of really happy investors who want to continue working with us. And if you're interested to see some testimonials, pop over to our website and you can have a peek there as well. You can also join our free Facebook group as well, the Legend Inner Circle, and you can interact with us directly. And you can even speak with investors who have worked with us in the past and who are currently Legend investors right now. So the experience really matters in the real estate game, that we didn't just show up and launch a fund, that we have been truly at this. We have built this business from the ground up and put our heart and soul into this for the last 20 years. So if you're interested to invest, this is how it works. Most investors invest using a registered account. So of course you can use cash. That is a super easy way to invest into Legend. But if you do have RSPs that are currently performing at less than 15 to 20% annual returns, maybe you would consider if Legend is a good fit into your portfolio. So the way this works is that you actually self-direct your registered account to Olympia Trust, and then this is a custodial company, and then they invest into Legend on your behalf. So this is a very simple process. It is streamlined into our onboarding. If you have an existing Olympia Trust account, yes, you can absolutely use your existing Olympia Trust account. So the next steps. First step here is to book a call with me. Okay. Let's do a Zoom. Let's chat one-on-one. Let's talk about your why, what's really important to you, the reasons why you want to invest. And of course, your investing goals, and to understand, like, is Legend a good fit for is it getting closer to your why, and does it fit in with your investing goals? If we determine yes during that call, then I'll introduce you to Equivesto. So Equivesto is our EMD, our exempt market dealer, and they will go through the KYC, the Know Your Client, and your investor suitability. And they will determine what is your investment in maximum. And then from there, once you've got an approved account with Equivesto, then you complete your transaction entirely online. So it's a digital platform, very easy to get started. But that first step truly is just to book a one-on-one call with me. A reminder of today's commitment is that you don't get stuck in that analysis paralysis. Are you interested to learn more about Legend? Do you think that Legend Real Estate Trust could help you to reach your financial goals? Does this help get you closer to your why? Just answer that question for yourself, that commitment. Is it a yes? Is it a no? Do you want to move forward to that next step? Don't get stuck in that analysis paralysis. So keep in touch with us. Once again, book a call with me as soon as possible. And of course, join our free Facebook group, the Legend Inner Circle. Here's our website here. Here's an email for us to get in touch directly. And of course, a disclaimer. So this here, like all investments, Legend comes with risk as well. We do have an offering memorandum that's available, and we encourage you to take a full review through the OM. So once again, thank you everybody for joining me this afternoon on today's webinar. We hope that we can help you to build effortless wealth today. Reach out to me. I would love to connect. Thank you for now, everybody. Bye.